There's a quiet transformation that happens in people's lives. A shift you don't notice until one day you look up and they're different. Not louder, not flashier, not suddenly brilliant or lucky, just quietly, financially solid, calm, stable, in control. And it's strange, isn't it? They didn't get a new high-paying job. They didn't win anything. They didn't suddenly inherit a fortune. Yet something changed. Something invisible. Something internal. Today, let's explore that hidden transformation. The one that happens not in someone's paycheck, but inside their mind. Because ordinary people become financially strong long before a single dollar changes. They become wealthy in behavior before becoming wealthy in numbers. Let's walk through that journey. Most people imagine that wealth requires some dramatic event, a breakthrough moment. But for the people who quietly become financially stable, it rarely starts with drama. It often begins with a very private moment. A sinking feeling after checking their bank balance. A small panic when the credit card bill arrives. A sudden guilt after an impulse purchase. A tired breath that whispers, "I can't keep living like this." No audience, no applause, just a moment of truth. This moment doesn't make someone wealthy instantly, but it plants the seed. And seeds are everything. When someone finally looks honestly at their money, something powerful happens. They stop blaming. They stop explaining. They simply observe. They see how much flows in, how much flows out, what leaks, what burns, what grows. This self-awareness, boring, unglamorous, almost invisible, is the first spark. Because you cannot change what you refuse to look at. The moment someone stops hiding from their numbers, they take their first step toward financial strength. People who quietly transform their finances do something unusual. They stop mixing emotions with money. They separate want from need, impulse from value, identity from spending. They recognize that a new purchase might feel like a hug, but it's not a plan, and it's not progress. They start asking different questions. Do I really need this? Will I care about this next month? Is this easing stress or avoiding it? They aren't judging themselves, they're simply noticing. And this noticing is powerful, because emotions drain bank accounts faster than bills ever could. Here's something fascinating. People who stabilize financially don't overhaul their entire life in one day. They pick one small rule, just one. Sometimes it's no eating out on weekdays, no impulse purchases for 48 hours, automatic deposits into savings every Friday, a $50 spending cap without thinking twice. The rule itself doesn't matter. The consistency does. Because wealth isn't built by intensity, it's built by repetition. And repetition creates a new identity. We live in a culture where normal spending levels are absurdly unsustainable. Streaming services, subscriptions, upgrades, micro-purchases, convenience fees, food delivery, travel temptations, gadgets that replace gadgets. And yet, those who quietly become financially strong opt out. Not loudly, not proudly, not self-righteously. They simply walk away from the pressure to match trends. They no longer chase the newest. They begin mastering the enough. This is one of the biggest turning points. They stop proving themselves through what they own and start building themselves through what they keep. Financially stable people do something that looks deceptively simple. They automate everything boring. Savings? Automated. Investments? Automated. Bills? Automated. Debt payoff? Automated. They don't allow emotions or forgetfulness to decide their future. They use structure. Clean, quiet, predictable structure. And here's the magic. Automation makes discipline effortless. Effortlessness makes consistency natural. And consistency makes wealth inevitable. Many everyday people grow up believing that comfort comes from convenience. But those who transform their finances learn a deeper truth. Comfort comes from security, not spending. The comfort of knowing your rent is paid, the comfort of watching your savings grow, the comfort of saying no because you're thinking long term. Slowly, their brain rewires. Spending stops feeling like relief. Stability becomes the new relief. And once stability feels good, everything changes. One of the most unusual habits of people who become financially strong is this. They act as if their future self is sitting beside them. Not judging, not criticizing, just present. Their future self says things like, "You don't need this today. Let me handle this instead. I'm counting on you." This mental shift creates decisions that feel wiser, calmer, and more generous, not toward the present moment, but toward tomorrow. Long-term thinking is the opposite of impulse, and long-term thinkers, even with average incomes, inevitably move ahead. There's a small gap that exists in every person's financial life, the gap between income and expenses. For some, this gap is small. For others, it's even smaller. But financially strong people protect this gap like it's treasure. They grow the gap. They widen it. They defend it fiercely. They don't need more money to do it. They need fewer leaks. Because wealth is not built by what you earn. It is built by what you keep. A surprising thing happens once finances stabilize. People stop feeling ashamed. They stop hiding receipts. Stop pretending. Stop apologizing. They realize money is not morality. Money is not status. Money is just information. A mirror, a measurement, a direction. And when shame leaves the room, discipline walks in peacefully. People who quietly strengthen their finances often shift the energy around them. They spend more time with grounded people, with planners, with savers, with steady thinkers. Not necessarily rich people, but responsible people. People who live within their means. People who have control over desires. People who don't chase attention through consumption. This environment makes spending less feel normal. Not restrictive, not painful, just normal. And normal is powerful. Another quiet transformation. They begin valuing time more than stuff. A walk becomes more satisfying than a purchase. A book becomes more enriching than a gadget. A calm weekend becomes more precious than a shopping spree. They begin building a life where the best things aren't bought, they're experienced. And people who value time naturally spend less because the things they treasure can't be purchased anyway. Behind every quietly wealthy person is a truth. Small financial habits compound, quietly, invisibly, powerfully. Savings compound. Discipline compound. Patience compound. Choices compound. Habits compound. And one day, after months or years of boring consistency, people around them suddenly notice. Wow, you're doing great. How'd you pull this off? What changed for you? But the truth is, nothing changed overnight. Everything changed slowly. Consistency is invisible until the results aren't. The final transformation is not a habit, but an identity shift. People stop trying to look rich and start quietly becoming secure. They see themselves as someone who makes wise choices, thinks clearly, saves automatically, spends intentionally, values their future, controls their impulses, builds stability. They become the kind of person who treats money like a tool, not a trophy. And once identity changes, every decision that follows becomes natural, not forced. So, financial strength does not begin with earning more. It begins with thinking differently, behaving differently, seeing differently. It begins with small shifts, one new habit, one new rule, one new mindset. one new identity. And while the world may never see the moment it begins, they'll always see where it leads. We don't grow wealthy when our income rises. We grow wealthy when our choices do. And those choices are available to everyone, starting today.